Hey guys, how's it going? It's Ollie here from CryptoVest.com. It is the 18th of December today, and we're going to be looking at Bitcoin trading against the US dollar over 4-hour candles. It's had a real good pump in the last in the last 24 hours. We've seen it surge yesterday from around the $330 mark all the way up to above the $3,600 mark. We hit $3,750, almost 14% gain, and now we've hit a correction after running into this sort of strong resistance we saw here, which was a sort of strong support going back to the 25th and the 27th of November. We actually picked up again along this sort of support in the 5th of December before we fell through it, and from here it's been a pretty solid support since. Solid resistance since, sorry. And so we're expecting to kind of ricochet off this level, which it has, and now we're kind of oscillating around the $3,600 mark now, this sort of psychological support area, which we highlighted as the sort of flipping area between the sort of safe range above, between the $4,400 mark, and then the sort of danger zone almost between the $3,600 mark and the sort of danger zone at $3,000 below. And so far Bitcoin's done really well, and we haven't actually touched anywhere near the $3,000 mark. We got kind of close at around 3,200, but as you can see, the asset was tracking quite nicely inside a falling wedge shape since the 24th of November. We briefly fell out of this pattern on the 7th of December, but as you can see, it picked up along this support area, this sort of key area here at sort of $3,350, and we pipped back in. A little bit of resistance as we tried to re-enter the downtrending support, but eventually we managed to pip back in, and from there we continued consolidating before breaking out. We did have a very, very brief throwback along the $3,350 resistance, which it became. So once we broke out, it hit this resistance, came back, found a new support along this downtrending resistance line, and then from there, bulls were able to launch this big uptrend that we had yesterday, and it's kind of catalyzing a lot of bullish momentum across the altcoin market as well. Done a little diagram above just to give you an idea of what falling wedge reversal patterns look like, and typically they come in from the top, consolidate, and then when they do break out, they usually hit a resistance, which is sort of key support in the past, and then from there they sort of fall back, hit the new support, and then push on. So as you can see, this is kind of what's happened here. We picked up along this one. We actually found a resistance at the earlier one, so this actually turned out to be the sort of main resistance for the asset, so you could probably bring the arrow down there, but you get the idea. Looking at the momentum indicators and like general sort of trend indicators, we can see that actually Bitcoin is looking pretty good. Whenever we hit a correction, we always wonder, is this just a brief correction or is this a bearish reversal? And so if we look at a number of indicators just off the bat, you can see that on the MACD indicator we have the 12 MA and the 26 MA with a nice bullish bifurcation between these two lines. We're above the signal line, and we have big buying candles on the histogram. Looking at the relative strength index, we briefly pipped into the overbought region above at around 73%, but since then we've managed to correct back into the channel now, and so we have more room to maneuver if we gear up for a sort of second impulse run. On the tracker money flow indicator, buying pressure, as you can see, had a brief correction, but it's now starting to angle back up and head back away, further away from the zero line in the middle here, so that's a very positive sign. And as you can see, there's just been a huge spike in buying pressure in the last sort of 24 hours, which is a really promising sign here. So overall, this is looking very good. Looking at a few other indicators, so while this tells us that bullish momentum is looking good, it doesn't really give us any sort of forecast as to whether the trend is turning bearish, so it's always good to back it up with the Ishimoku indicator and the parabolic SAR, which is there. And as you can see, so not only have we broken through the 4-hour resisting Kumo on the Ishimoku indicator, which is a really great sign. In fact, we may actually be dipping back in it at the moment, but ideally we'd like to see it swing back, and on our next impulse movement upwards we'd like to break out above this cloud again. But nevertheless, we're breaking through the resisting Kumo. We have indicated dots on the parabolic star still beneath the price action, which tells us that the trend is currently favorably bullish. So if we do start to see these dots turn and sit above the price action, we'll know that the trend is now starting to turn bearish, but for now it's looking very positive. And if we get the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen lines up on the Ishimoku, it should be looking pretty good as well. Yeah, so you can see the Tenkan-sen, the blue line here, has passed above the Kijun-sen line, the red line here. So overall, this is still looking very, very bullish, particularly over 4 hours, which is very good. Pulling the to the side sort of thing. Let me pull the chart to the side. You can see a sort of blue box here. If you looked at the TA I did a few weeks ago or last week for Bitcoin, basically this is the Q1 box. So this is the January 1st going all the way to March 31st. And like I said before, there's a whole host of things to look forward to in Q1 that should really help generate strong bullish momentum for Bitcoin, for the crypto market. And if you want to check those out, just look at the previous TA I've done. But interestingly, in the wider financial markets, you can see that the world financial markets are actually taking a big crash, particularly in the last few weeks. The US stock market is taking a hammering. The S&P 500, the Dow are all down at the moment. Even the Asian stock markets, so like the Nikkei 225 is taking a beating. The Shanghai Stock Exchange is taking a bit of a dip. And even South American exchanges all across the board, so Mexico, Brazil, they're all struggling at the moment. The FTSE 250, things like that are all sort of struggling at the moment. So it seems like it could, as an idea, perhaps money could start moving across to the crypto market as a way of hedging against the falling world trade markets. And interestingly, there's been recent research released by Dyer, which is a research firm, that have said that institutional investors are starting to flock more and more towards over-the-counter trading, over-the-counter crypto trading services. So things like Coinbase, as a mean of entering the crypto market. So it's already starting to happen, according to this particular research. But we could start to see more of that go on, obviously, as the wider financial markets continue to decline. So an interesting thing going on right now. Obviously, this is all being fueled by the US trade war with China. So as the sort of uncertainty around that sort of spreads to the wider financial markets, we may see more people flock to the crypto market to avoid any further losses. And this may help catalyze a bull run that we saw sort of similar to the Q4 of last year. Maybe. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see for that. And we're already getting very close to the end of Q4 now. So maybe we'll get it late and we'll have that in Q1 of next year instead. But yeah, guys, check out the full TA at cryptovest.com. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know how you think these wider world trade markets are going to affect the crypto market, whether you think this is a good sign or a bad sign in general. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And yeah, please like and subscribe to this channel, guys, if you like this one. Thank you.